Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be giving you the best money guide inside of Fisch. This is going to be even after they have nerfed everything, making values horrible. Now, as a quick note, though, I'm going to be giving you all the methods that work for me. This is obviously going to be very specific and directly towards what you can capably do. And I'm going to be hopefully tailoring this towards any mid-game player, because obviously, if you're new to the game, you should focus on playing the game rather than grinding money. So first things first is a good sign. You are completely able to make a ton of money in Fisch. Look at all these wonderful fish that I got with the Nate's Blade, and I'll explain the math behind why I'm using the Nate's Blade. And today might just be your lucky day, but if you're watching this video within 1 week of it coming out, then you will actually be able to enter into my Nerf Fisch set giveaway. I'm going to be giving away every single fish for this, and to enter, all you need to do is go down and click that hype button, and then hype this video, and then go and comment your Roblox username down below. But once again, hype this video, comment your Roblox username, and that will enter you into the Nerf Fisch giveaway. And I'm going to be giving this away to multiple people. I like to sell my inventory. Boom, 25 million. I know that's kind of a sad number compared to what we used to be able to get, but if we think of it this way, this is how Nate put it essentially. So you can make a ton of money now in Fisch, but the difference is, he said, think of it like having 2 Aurora totems instead of 3 now, essentially, which, I mean, if you put it that way, it doesn't sound too bad, but I mean, money wise, it's pretty much that. Think of having 2 Aurora totems instead of 3. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You make less money, but everything costs less. So they're trying to keep the physical number lower than, other stuff. So that's the only reason why we have that there. So like, if you look at most rods, right? Like the Nate's Blade, for example, I got the Nate's Blade and it costed a grand total of 3 billion when I bought it. Got this wonderful skin on it that costed 200 million, the white blade. And guess what? Now this blade only costs 200 million. So think of that price drop, which hopefully I have the number calculated. So if my math is kind of correct, that is nearly a 93% drop in money price on this rod. Now, if everything is balanced, let's just say around 90%. If there's a 90% loss in value to the economy in this game in Fisch, I mean, that's tremendous. But the best ways you can make money now, even after this absurd nerf. Okay, but anyways, with the value change, I'm gonna be showing you this. I don't know what they're talking about, but black market has appeared in Terracan Island. I'm gonna go acquire that and show you a wee bit of this. What are they running? Server luck, supersizer. This isn't Terracan Island. Okay, also as a note, you can get taco bait constantly, which is pretty nice. I care more about getting to the shop than the admin event they're running right now. Boom. What do we got? This cosmic, also cosmic relics, only 5 million. These used to cost, or 500,000. They used to cost 5 million each. I think I own the brick boat, right? Yeah, I already have that. Now what we'll do, using taco bait, this is another thing that'll tie into in a second, but the mutations you have matter a lot. And I'll explain that in a second, because I actually nerfed mutations and the obtained value. It'd be nice if I could get some supersized fish, get a giant spicy supersized one. Getting some really great stuff from this, aren't I? Man, I got supersized freaking driftwood. Aren't we lucky? Now, firstly is the aquarium, just for revenue. Obviously, I got a bit sidetracked, but the aquarium for revenue is currently still very reliable. It's not like downright the best from at least what I'm figuring out, but I mean, it is still pretty good, right? So mine makes hardly anything because of the nerf, because I don't have like great stuff in it. But what I will say is it isn't horrible. So the best fish you could put in your aquarium for money is actually, I mean, it's really straightforward and simple. So for the best fish, it's going to be something like this. So as you see, the Leviathans are by far the best. So glowy, profane Leviathan, by far the best. As you see, this does 155,000 an hour. This other dupe of it does almost 90,000 an hour. You can see another one right off to the side. Now, the reason this is currently the best is, if you look at my aquarium, right, the best thing I have, bro, is horrible. If I click, look at this, 18,000 on something used to generate 1 million. Quit best. How in the world is my best fish a 48,000? Now, I'll explain this in a second, but essentially why this is because the mutation, so this is tryhard, right? You might be like, oh, you have tryhard on these fish? Yes, I traded for them, okay? I mean, plenty of people trade for rare crap. Now, probably gonna end up selling this because this is absolute dog water now, but like I was saying, tryhard, if you actually look at mutations, all mutations were nerfed, like a lot. If you look at the pages, tryhard is now only 10x, and you're like, man, that's not, that's still the highest, yes, but it's only 10x. If you go to admin mutations, like for example, alien, all of these ones, right? These are still pretty good for the most part. I think they just changed it because it used to also be like high value, but if you come down to the logs or the change history, they haven't posted anything about it, but the admin stuff used to be pretty good. Now, the last thing as a note is they're keeping tryhard rod, or tryhard, as the technically highest, since it is the hardest to use and get. But as you can see, fabulous 9.3, this is from the fabulous rod, is one of the highest mutations you can get consistently on an actual normal rod. Obviously, darkness on the Sword of Darkness, 9.4, and is a higher chance. So I actually have this rod, Sword of Darkness. I mean, it looks pretty pretty cool. I mean, can't lie. I don't get the whole like using it with like this thing, but it's pretty peak. Herculean is definitely needed on this. I'm about to lose my streak on it, but yeah. Oh, look at that. We lost our 10,000 streak. Yeah. So you see really low resilience, lure speed 250, luck 250. Now here is the stat for this rod and why it's pretty good. So Sword of Darkness, boom, we'll look at it. 25% chance per fish movement to stab, blah, 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 pretty decent. Then you can get darkness guaranteed after this. So after 3 successful catches in a row, you get a 150% forced progress speed, all this stuff. But if you take longer than 30 seconds to catch a fish, or if the reel is snapped, you lose this. Now, the only main benefit to this rod would be getting Herculean on it. Now, the only issue with Herculean is, as you see, it has a limited max kg of 1 million. Plenty of fish that exceed 1 million from what I can, tell. But for money-wise, this is not a bad option. Now, this is only 50 million in the black market now. Obviously, if you did manage to have a ton of money or already own this isn't a bad option at all. But the favorite rod choice of mine is the Nate's Blade. Now, the Nate's Blade is one of the best rods in the game. Pretty much just in general, it's one of the best rods. Now, the reason for this, when you're catching, right, fishing, and this, your control bar just constantly gets bigger, and you have 3 guaranteed mutations. Now, they're not good, but they're lumpy, something else, and then, yeah, something else. I think it's Rockstar, it's something else. But these are all 4X, so you have a guaranteed 4X mutation, which, I mean, obviously isn't great, but is about a good majority of all the mutations are in the 3 to 4X range. But the next thing about this rod is its passive makes all fish caught 100% bigger. And then you see I have Sea Overlord and Sea Prince, meaning all fish caught are a grand total of 155% bigger. Now, why this is overpowered is 155% bigger and a 4X mutation is really good. But on top of that, most of the fish you catch are going to have the giant mutation. This is where the value starts to actually be good. Now, on previous rods, strategies, say Fabulous Rod or Mastered, you could grind money very easily. But the issue with this is not only are these rods harder to get and nerfed with the whole money situation, but Mastered is, there's no other benefit besides getting Mastered and you have to perfect catch. Now, with the other mutations, 4X from the other one, I think it's the Bubblegum, Lumpy, and Rockstar mutations from Nate's Blade. There's these mutations, right? There's that, the 150X or 155%. And now if you look at this, so the way mutations work, right? Attributes can further modify a fish while being able to stack with one another alongside mutations. For example, Shiny Sparkling Big Silver Isonade is one possible combination. This makes attributes desirable when appraising. Now, there's a difference from attributes and mutations. You might think Shiny Sparkling is a mutation. This is actually an attribute to the fish. Now, the reason why this works out is if, say, I have 2 mutations, say I had, let's say I got 2, let's say Aurorus, or yeah, this one right here, 2X, and then I got a 3X, like Blightened, right? I mean, that's really unlike combo, but it's going to be 5X. It's not going to be 2 and 5 or 2 and 3 and 6X. It's only going to be 5X. Now, with these though, these are going to stack. So 1.85, 1.85, it's going to be these together. And then these attribute values are going to be multiplied by your mutations, which is where the size mutation can come in. So giant is anything of a fish value that is 1.99 or higher than the original one. Doesn't mean it's only 1.99. It just means anything above 1.99. So big, giant, whatever. Now the rod, right, Nate's Blade, with these mutations on it, you pretty much only get big or giant. I mean, as you can look in the catch log, giant, 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 right? Most of them are giant, if not really close to giant. So what we can note with this is you have a very good chance of having a very high base value of the fish. And then on top of that, you always get a 4X mutation on it. So did the math, right? AKA, I was like, hey, ChatGPT, answer this for me. So as you see, the tryhard rod, normal, right? 10X mutation. Say you're catching a fish only worth 1,000. Nate's Blade, gonna make it way better, while tryhard rod isn't. So essentially, Nate's Blade is nearly 100% better than the tryhard rod. The reason for this is because of the increase of the fish size is always gonna be 155% bigger, or 1.55. And then that's gonna be multiplied by 4X. So nearly more than that, instead of taking the fish's base size and only multiplying that by, the 10X of the tryhard mutation. So essentially, it's a better deal to use the tryhard rod. Now, what we're gonna do is, for money-wise, this is very different on where you wanna fish. There are 2 or 3 different zones. Now, this was calculated and tested, but the first zone recommended is actually one of the new best spots. This was buffed. It's gonna be fishing inside of the Luminescent Cavern. Now, inside the Luminescent Cavern, it really doesn't matter, but if you fish in the zone where the colossal blue dragon spawns in, you can just catch it directly and work on catching that. But besides that, for the most part, right, you don't really want to fish there, but you can fish in this area, not Crimson Cavern, Luminescent Cavern. Now, the next spot is going to be pretty similarly to a well-known money strategy. Now, Luminescent Cavern, I covered that in a video. It was buffed relatively recently, so I'm gonna head over there real quick. Now, Castaway Cliffs, on the other hand, it didn't get nerfed or buffed. The just overall fish value got dramatically decreased. Now, this is where the strategies come into play. So fishing here, right, blah, blah, blah. Now, ideally, I think Sword of Darkness will actually be better value, but as you see, big Rockstar, manned fish, no, fish here more. And since Auroras are cheaper, you can actually find very commonly hackers servers with Auroras constantly running. The reason for this, right, a lot of hackers had billions before before the update came out. They didn't spend it, right? Because they already had everything. And then now they're like, oh man, I can afford a ton of auroras. So I'll just buy, you know, a few thousand totems and always run auroras while I'm exploiting, right? And that's what most hackers are doing now. So you can most likely find most public servers actively running auroras, so you can fish there. The next thing is going to be the statistics. I honestly might start switching to using the Sword of Darkness myself, because I mean, after I get some enchant on it, making it better and more usable, but then it's not actually a bad rod for money. Now, for the final note, after Castaway Cliffs, obviously Carrot Garden is pretty good, but for the most part, I mean, the nerfs have kind of sucked, but for the most part, right, the changes to the aquarium are kind of painful to use, but I am working on figuring out the math behind the best way you can grind this. But for the most part, that is pretty much it for this video. I would recommend joining my Discord server. We're running a ton of events there, trying to help people out. So I'm running things like nukes and auroras, right? We're grinding together, so you should definitely join and check that out. But for the most part, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you on the next one.